Hey, what is up guys, I'm KBHD here, and we have some Google Pixel 2 rumors. And at the risk of looking like a rumors channel, at least because like in the last 3 videos, there have been 2 roundups, but these are really good, so hear me out, let's dive into them. So there's a couple big releases every year that generate a lot of hype. One of them's the iPhone. Boom, you can watch my iPhone 8 rumor roundup video right there. That's everything we know so far about the next iPhone. And also number 2 is the Google Pixel, the flagship from Google that spearheads Android, previously Nexus, now Pixel, and this is what we're hearing about. So last year's Pixel, or specifically the Pixel XL, was one of my favorite phones released last year, possibly the best phone released in 2016. I kind of said it in the title. Stock Android, fast updates to Android, great performance, great battery life, and possibly the best camera in any smartphone, even still right now. But now the rumors are swirling for Google Pixel 2. How does Google follow up a super solid phone like that and the first Pixel ever with an even better one? And I actually kind of said in one of my recent Q&A videos on my wish list for Pixel 2, it would be mostly just better, more modern hardware. The software experience is already great. Stock Android, it's gonna do its thing, and it's gonna get stock Android. But you could use a little bit more modern, pretty hardware. Well, the leaks are starting to pour in now, and from Android Police has a great track record as far as Android leaks and smartphones go over the past couple of years, so I'll link the full post below. But this is what they say we're getting with the new Pixel 2 XL made by LG. Also keep in mind that logo, the Android Police logo, as good as it looks, is not part of the design of the phone. It's just a watermark, so yeah, that's what we're looking at. Pretty hot looking phone. Looks like it'll have a pretty similar overall look and feel to the first Pixel, which is fine. It obviously has those characteristics, but there are some key differences. So first thing we're noticing here is that display. It's of course much bigger, much thinner bezels on the sides and top and bottom, and they're saying it's a 6-inch full AMOLED display, so that's dope. And they're saying we're also gonna get, according to Android Police, a 2:1 aspect ratio to enable that. So the same aspect ratio as the LG G6 display, same rounded corners as the LG G6 display, and of course an AMOLED. But I wanna throw a caveat into this. A 2:1 display here, it looks great and it looks super clean and modern, but I don't know if a 2:1 aspect ratio on the Pixel, the flagship Android development phone, is a good idea. I could be overreacting about scaling or about development, and maybe it's not a big deal, but it seems like they could definitely still do here a 16:9 high resolution display as well. Sort of a toss up for me there, but of course still an AMOLED, still really thin bezels, still really hot. It also has those rounded corners like we said, like the G6, and you know, not a big deal there, but a lot of people like that, and then the edges of the glass will also be curved into the body, which is always a nice touch. Not quite full Samsung with the display glass like melting over the sides, but I'm pretty happy about this new display. That's kind of what I was asking for. And then the second big change you'll notice is the camera on the back, or just the whole back in general. This is a much bigger camera cutout than the previous Pixel. Remember how small that was? It was completely flush in the Pixel and Pixel XL. Looks like Pixel 2 has a camera looking a lot like the Nexus 7 when that came out, so really interesting. Now I don't know if that translates in any way to the camera quality, and there's still no rumors about what sensor they may be using, but I am very optimistic for the camera quality in the Pixel 2, considering the Pixel now still has probably the best camera in any smartphone. I don't think they could put the same exact camera in and still get the same praise, but if it's an upgrade in any way, it's gonna be an excellent camera. Something we've seen in a lot of new smartphones with the Snapdragon 835 chip, they can all afford to do auto HDR on all the time because that chip can handle multiple exposures at once. So HDR was great on the Pixel. If it's on full time, every shot's gonna look great. And then the head-turning rumor from that Android Police leak is that the Pixel 2 will have a squeezable frame just like the HTC U11. Now again, I don't know if that's a feature that they're adding just for buyers, or if that's something that they really expect to see in a bunch of Android phones like from here on out. When I first saw it in the U11, and I said this in my video, I didn't really expect it to catch on much at all, but that kind of throws a wrench into it now that this is LG, not HTC, and they're planning on doing the same thing. So maybe it is kind of catching on. But let's just go with it. Let's say they make it just as sensitive to multiple pressure levels as the U11. Maybe they'll let us remap it to launch different things, like possibly launching the camera and taking photos with it, or launching the Google Assistant. Kind of makes sense. But if you don't want to use it at all, if you bought this phone for other reasons, they should also allow you to disable it and never have anything react to you squeezing it. But yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how Google handles the whole squeeze thing in the software. Ideally, I think they'll let us remap it to whatever we want. They seem like the type to let us do that and not lock it down to one function. Bixby. But yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see. Now, something else to keep an eye on is the speakers. The speaker grill you can see on this leaked render look super wide, and I've heard rumors of a very important front-facing dual stereo speaker system on the Pixel 2 this year, which would be great because the speakers on last year's Pixel were probably its weakest component. And then a headphone jack. Yeah, crossing my fingers for that, hoping they do that. USB Type-C is probably a given, that'll be there too. And then the fingerprint reader, it's on the back again, so no fingerprint reader under the glass like we're assuming may happen with the next iPhone. Again, it's in that video, but that technology is super new. So they are going with the fingerprint reader on the back again, but you may have noticed it's now outside of the glass like it was inside the glass on the original Pixel. So it's a little bit higher up, and that also means that glass window is a little bit smaller, which also kind of guarantees, again, with a metal body, no wireless charging. And that's something I've always noticed, like wireless charging and water resistance, those two things seem to be the most polarizing features about new phones. Some people really just couldn't care less, like, yeah, you know, who even uses wireless charging? It's like a bonus to have water resistance, but other people are like super adamant, like I will not buy a phone that doesn't have waterproofing and I just need wireless charging. I don't really feel that same way, but let me know where you stand on that. Also, keep in mind, these are all Pixel 2 XL rumors, so this is for the bigger version of the phone. It appears that the smaller Pixel 2 will be much more in line with like a spec bump of what we have now. Might have the thicker bezels as well. It'll have the updated speakers, it'll have the updated camera, but don't expect that edge-to-edge display. But either way, I am looking forward to Pixel 2 XL. I mentioned it on Twitter, the Pixel was one of my most used phones of last year, and we will be looking forward to this for a while because the Pixel didn't actually come out until October 4th of last year. It's July now, so there's gonna be much more time, much more rumors between now and when we actually see the new Pixel. But I think Pixel 2 XL will probably earn its spot in my pocket for at least a little while. So what do you think? Would you pick up this phone if it turns out to be accurate? If these leaks are true? Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys very soon in the next one. Peace.